Hi, I'm Gito from Padre Coffee, and we're here at the Padre Coffee warehouse. Today we'll be honing in on how to dial in a single origin. Today we're going to be using the Breville Bambino Plus, also the Breville Smart Pro grinder. Last video we focused on the functionalities of it. If you want to go through it, you can go back. It's quite thorough. Today we'll be focusing on why it's important to sort of hone in on how to dial in for single origins. When you're dialing in a single origin, it's important to have a good relationship with the equipment because you're really kind of refining the process a little bit. So it's important to know what the functionality is with the grinder and also with the machine. With this particular machine, there's two buttons. It's the 1 cup and the 2 cup. It's a really good baseline to have in terms of knowing the functionality between those two. But when you're dialing in with a recipe, it's really good to sort of have a strong relationship with the grinder. And this one is a particularly good one. It kind of replicates how I would brew behind the bench in a cafe. You can really kind of hone in on the particular fineness or coarseness of what you need, and that has a direct relationship with how you brew your espresso. So the coffee we're using today is the Colombia San Pablo. It's very versatile, great with or without milk. It's a wash coffee, so it's got some really light floral notes. It's got some body to it, some sort of typically coffee tasting flavors like chocolate and almond. In brewing espresso, it's important to sort of follow a recipe, and to really understand how to do that, you need to break down all the components of the recipe. So we'll do that today, starting with the dose. The dose is super important to sort of find that base dose. It kind of determines how strong or weak the coffee will be. And secondly, the yield. The yield will kind of determine how balanced the coffee will be. It'll determine the contact time the coffee has with water. Thirdly, the component of a recipe is time. It's really important to have the right time. If it's running a bit too fast, it could be sour. If it's running a bit too slow, it could be really bitter. So we want that sweet spot, and the window is quite big. It can be from 25 to 40 seconds. It just depends on the coffee. It depends on what kind of roast it is as well. All three of the components of the recipe need to be considered holistically to complete that perfect recipe. The particular coffee we're using today, the Colombia San Pablo, we'll be using a dose of 16.5 with a yield of 30 grams in the time frame of 30 seconds. I've just pre-tared my scale, and we'll dose out the 16.5 we talked about. All done. Bang on. Just going to distribute the coffee. Tamp. Engage the portafilter. I'm going to tear off the cup so I can weigh my dose. And again, we'll be using the double cup button. So the coffee ran slightly over 30 seconds. It ran at 32 seconds. So what I'll do is adjust the grinder to make the grind size a little bit coarser. So it'll hopefully go from 32 to a perfect 30. And this, because you're coarsening it up, you're actually fastening the brewing process. On the other hand, if it's running a little bit too fast, I would actually tighten the grind. I would make it a little bit finer, and that will slow down the process. Perfecto. It ran exactly how I wanted it. We've made that adjustment. It looks great. It poured really well. The time was perfect. Smells good. It tastes a lot more balanced as well. So let's put some milk into it. I'm going to use the manual function. Away we go. Really happy with that. Nice texture. And I'm going to pour in. Let's give it a taste. It's really good. You can really taste the coffee, you know, incorporating the milk as well now. It's got a different dimension to it, obviously. Really creamy, and that kind of toffee and vanilla kind of flavors come out now, which is awesome. So yeah, again, a really perfect example of a single origin that can work with or without milk. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to go through and see all the other videos in this series, and please subscribe to our Padre Coffee YouTube channel for more content.